So I wanted to take you on a little journey I went on through the start of lockdown here in the UK, which was back in March 2020. And if I can say one thing about this, it was quite an inspiring one, which I didn't think I'd go on, and I didn't think I'd have that much impact as it did. So yeah, it was really completely changed the way I think about certain things, either whether it be relationships, mental health, business journeys, challenges you've got to go through, the focus, the commitment, the consistency, the patience you have to have. And it was all about the podcast. Season 1 of the Ignite Your Mind podcast, which I launched back in March. I had 17 guests on. And I did it all from sitting in this little room here. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess at the moment because I'm about to move out, but that screen, that laptop, had Zoom on it, that was all I needed. But do you know what, it did work, and I'll be forever grateful that I actually made the decision. So thank you to the past Sanjay and welcome to the future Sanjay. And it just shows that anything is possible. And I did it all for free. I was reaching out to these people to have conversations, and because they were ultimately really up for the conversation, it's literally spiraled into like some huge ripple effect through loads of people, and the feedback we were getting was unbelievable. So I really just wanted to show you my best bits on season 1 of the Ignite Your Mind podcast right now. This is season 1 of the Ignite Your Mind podcast, a safe place for real talk on discovering powerful stories, talking about mental health, real business journeys, and hearing inspiring stories. My name's Sanjay Patel, and I'm a transformational life coach, YouTuber, DJ, and content creator. And I'm sitting down with creatives, entrepreneurs, and inspiring individuals who tell their story on a whole deeper level. My goal in this podcast is to up-level your creative thinking, to help you see the infinite potential you have, and to show you that anything is possible.
A lot of people are worried about judgment, and this statement actually really stuck with me, and it was that there is no one fixed version of you. You can try your hardest to put out a certain version of yourself, but there's probably thousands of versions of you. You'll have a certain version of me that you believe. I'll have a certain version of me. Someone who's never met me before and has just seen a photo of me will have a version of me that they think. Someone who gets on with me will have a version. Someone who doesn't will have a version. You will never, ever, ever be in control of that version of you. That version of you, it doesn't exist. There's so many different versions of it. So you forget the whole judgment.
A lot of people that probably listen to this won't know who they are, but that's irrelevant. It's the point that you've got those people, and you've got those people to surround yourself with and to call on to help, to have conversations. That's the most important thing. So yeah, thank you for sharing, and big up those people.
Yeah, it's actually so that, and it's an example why it's so important to invest into the relationships in your life, especially when you're because when you're in an abusive relationship, you tend to just shy away from all the people, and then you don't invest, and then you lose people. So then it's so much harder to come out of that relationship. And when you finally do, there's no one there because you've pushed them all away. So talk to people and invest into your relationships, your friendships.
Mate.
Flipping out.
God.
Literally got all cold.
Mate.
That testimonial is like, oh. Yeah, I've got it. It's massive, mate.
Okay.
I read the last little bit because it is right proper touching. So basically, this lady, for the past year, she struggled with cancer. She lost her dad. Mm-hmm. He had cancer as well, and her mental health was awful, like ground zero.
Deteriorating.
And when I saw her, she was at her worst. Like, can't do this. Like, literally negative.
Yeah.
Like hitting a brick wall. And then she contacted me, and we had a real good chat. We laid everything on the table. I got everything out. As much as I could at what thoughts go through her head, etc., and where she was physically. So then I agreed to take her on. This is what she wrote. Johnny was a breath of fresh air, always so positive and always encouraging, and instantly knows if I'm having an off day, but listens and builds me back up. I've worked hard, and Johnny had my back the whole time, never giving up on me or allowing me to give up on myself. Johnny, because of you, I didn't give up. I can never repay that. Very nervous posting this picture. Did a before and after picture, which was unbelievable. I still have a long way to go, but it shows with the right person behind you, anything is possible. Johnny, you saved me.
Mate! Mate!
Flipping out.
God!
Literally got all cold.
Mate!
That testimonial is like, oh, that literally just makes, like, I still refer to
literally
that.
sweating, mate. I escaped my jumper off. Jesus! I mean, it's a burning desire question, which I feel like a lot of people are probably thinking, is that, can you still mime?
Yeah.
Do you still do it?
Well, I don't. So what? Every so often, some of the places that I belong to, like the Weekend Arts College, there'll be a fundraiser, and we'll get together and we'll revive one of our old pieces, dust it off, change it around, make it more
Nice.
modern, and then present it again. But yeah, so it's one of those skills that just I spent so long learning it that it just exists. I don't know if it shows on camera, but things like the mime wall, just spent months and months just practicing.
Oh no, that's amazing. I love that.
And it just sticks with you.
How many burnouts have you had?
I'd say 3.
So talk us through your journey through one of your burnouts. Like, what happened when you entered it? How did you know you was in it? Then what happened when you got out of it?
So one of the first things was getting help. One was I got a VA, and then also putting in place, making sure I had breaks in between jobs. Yeah. And don't be afraid to reach out for help. That was the biggest thing. I've always been, I've got it together. I can handle this. I can do this. I'm fine on my own. But it's like, well, actually, you're clearly not. And stop trying to prove something because you can't do it all.
This whole lockdown thing is a great exercise as well in slowing down, because you're forced to. I'm finding things to do that I've wanted to do for ages. Personally, I went through quite a challenging year.
So, a couple of questions. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I think for me, I go back to that running when I was listening to Goggins. He didn't give it directly to me, but he said, your mind and your body will quit. Try and make you quit at 40%, and you've still got another 60% in the tank.
Boom.
And that sticks with me in everything, physically, mentally, any situation. You've always got more when your body's trying to. Sorry,
is it true? Do you feel it's true?
I guess the percentage could be different for different people, but for me, definitely, I feel that when you get to that point of, oh God, I'm really struggling here, you've still got so much more, and that's the growth part. It's almost getting to, a lot of people say in the fitness industry, rep until it starts hurting and then count your reps. Just forget the bit where it didn't start hurting because it's irrelevant, rather than going and just doing 10 reps. And I think that for me mentally is something that's important.
It's never too late to change your career. It's never too late to do anything. I say to him, like, I am really grateful for makes me emotional sometimes, the hard graft, the tears when I didn't believe in myself, the working all over the weekends, getting as many people through the door as possible until I feel like I'm going to keel over.
And anyway, so I took this class out every Tuesday. After we had a double English lesson, and then after that we would go out to like a local activity centre, and we did canoeing, and then the next week we did rock climbing, and it was just amazing, because these were kids who I'd managed to build a really good relationship with, but still were a nightmare to many teachers in school, who had rock bottom self-esteem, who if they produced one paragraph of work in a week, that would be a miracle. And when you saw them in this different setting, they were just completely different human beings. They were supporting each other. I remember this one moment where one of the students, who was quite quiet and shy, actually, definitely not a behaviour challenge, but definitely really low self-esteem, and in my class, who, because he had done canoeing once before and none of the others had ever stepped foot in a canoe before, he suddenly felt this kind of sense that he knew what he was doing and that he could help the others, and he just materialised into this incredible leader who was supporting them and telling them how they should move the oars, and oh my goodness, it was just amazing. And I said to the boy afterwards, has anyone ever told you that you're an incredible leader before? And like he couldn't he couldn't understand why I was saying that, and I was like, you've just shown so many incredible skills of leadership. You know, I think you could run your own organization one day. And that was like a complete shift in him. You know, the next day in class, and from then on, he would put his hand up in our lessons.
No way.
he suddenly brought his coursework in, you know, all of this. And it was that like just that kind of one moment.
All right, so I'm kind of just sat here. It's 7:45 and I'm just editing this best bits video, and it's got me kind of a bit emotional. Like there's a lot in there, and do you know what the worst thing is? Like it's 10 minutes long, but I just couldn't fit every single one in there. There were so many guests which I couldn't even fit in there. But do you know what? These were some of my best bits, and they were just absolutely incredible. Like, blows my mind when I listen back to some of these stories, like, and what people have been through and how they've come out the other side. Just makes me feel super grateful for what I am, who I am, and what I've created myself, and the position I'm in, really. So yeah, just super grateful. Season 2 is dropping. Make sure you check it out. I've got a big, powerful opener. So yeah, we'll see you on the other side, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.